PDMC, it's the contribution of the members of the Philippine Nickel Industry Association. So yun yung almost on an annual basis, yan ang contribution ng PNEA members. PNEA members comprise of members, 7 mining companies. They're affected in terms of operations. Like in 2020, particularly here in the Caraga region, in Claver, we were stuck for 2 months. So when the lockdown started in March 15 of 2020, we were not able to operate until after May. So we were able to resume operations only in June. And in the meantime, we tried to, of course, help the community. First, our employees, make sure that even if we have no operations, we continue to support them. And the community, in terms of relief operations. So we responded immediately sa impact communities namin, then sa province, then sa municipio. We were doing well during the pandemic. We were ready to respond on how to contain the pandemic in China. Since it's affecting their economy, what they did was to promote employment. So they tried to produce a lot of it. So there was a demand for more raw materials, and one of which, of course, nickel ore. So that's the reason for a good price during the time. Now, the narrative has changed a bit. Most of us are recovering around the world. There is a continuing demand for renewable energy requiring the production of batteries. There is a continuing demand for electric vehicles. So the development in the nickel space to be used for battery production is there, and so there is an increasing consumption of nickel. Of course, there is a continuing demand for stainless steel as the primary consumer of nickel. The dollar strength is to our favor because we are exporting, so it's very good for the nickel, for the export sector, particularly to the mining industry that's exporting products. So we help the country basically in terms of generating foreign exchange reserves. We'll be able to help also our contractors. We're paying them in dollars, so they're able to benefit from it. Result of which we have more money in circulation. So if they convert dollars into pesos, they're able to spend more money. So that's the main benefit for the depreciation of peso. As usual, we provide national taxes. We provide local taxes. So for national taxes and local taxes, I have to enumerate. We appreciate the context. We pay 5% royalty. We pay 4% excise tax. We pay local business tax 2%. We pay 1% royalty to the indigenous people. And then we are paying previously 30% corporate income tax. Of course, it was down to 25%, but that's still 25% on net income. So other taxes, tax on dividends, VAT on the purchases of services, and also contribute in terms of local development by rolling out our SDMP, the Social Development Management Program. That's 1.5% of our cost. And then we are also spending on Environmental Protection Enhancement Program, which is a minimum of 5%. These are the contributions we have under the legal framework. Now, on CSR, we've been providing local communities relief goods. There are so many things that we provided during the pandemic. We continue to employ people, of course. So these are the things that we did during the pandemic. So unlike other sectors, sarado, kami bukas. But on top of what we're being required to do, we augment it with our CSR, our corporate social responsibility that will help accelerate the economic recovery. Is mining. If these commodity prices will continue to be sustained, will increase further because, as mentioned, there is a continuing demand for stainless steel because of infrastructure spending around the world, because of renewable energy, because of electric vehicle, towards sustainable mining, towards what is the proper expectations for the mining industry, particularly when you talk about environment, when you talk about climate change, you talk about UN sustainability development goals, things like that. But when you say something negative, then investors tend to shy away. It spooks investors. So instead of welcoming them, probably say, we have EO 79 in place. We say it's close to mine. It's close to mine because there is no new agreement. They just we have at the time were just the existing operators. But of course, months later, that was reversed. We have EO 79 having repealed early last year. So the direction is towards opening up the mining industry. So we need to sustain that. We need more IEC. We need to have more discussions in the matter. The electricity is not really a major cost for us nickel ore exporters. So just one of the costs is going to, but not really. The impact's not much. We use when you extract, you use basically equipment. So the more direct connection in terms of increasing cost is on the fuel. Because when you operate equipment, the fuel cost component is around 30%. So when there is an increase in fuel prices, then definitely it's going to increase the operating cost. So we use heavy equipment, excavators, we use hauling truck, we use barges. They don't use electricity. We use electricity for our buildings. Here's the problem with insurgency has been, been going down, it's a bit milder because there was an aggressive campaign against the Atty administration, and I think that campaign against insurgency will continue in this administration. And so we'll see less and less of that as a problem. In the meantime, of course, we have a lot of support from the government. There is the presence, of course, the police and military. The number of police in the entire country has practically doubled. The number of military has practically doubled over the last 6 years. So we are confident that even if there is an insurgency, the government will be able to address it.